Where do we start with this one? Obviously, the call made it about Mike Vrabel and his return to Tennessee. Is that the story, Jim?
No, the story's still the quarterback. Look, they keep stacking wins. They're a fun, frisky team that's going to make the playoffs, and who the hell knows? Maybe they, at that point when they make the playoffs, they end up putting into a scare like a battle-tested team like Kansas City. As crazy as it would have sounded a month ago, if you look at the playoff picture right now, if we were to start, they're the 2 seed. They're the 2 seed. They're hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence, who seems to regress by the week. You would feel good about that game, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. All that being said, what they're doing right now is it's about Drake Maye and this insane leap he's taken over the last month, period. Much like I said last week after the game in New Orleans, if they don't have that quarterback, I'm not sure you win that game, or Tennessee definitely puts a real scare into you. They did early. I definitely believe this. This whole operation might not look all that different than they did the last couple of years without Drake Maye. He's completely lifted them up. He's made the wide receivers better. He continues to almost flawlessly get them out of trouble by picking up like big third downs. And his play helps negate the play of a defense that frankly isn't all that great. And I think that's being kind. The winning streak, this return to respectability, with all that comes scrutiny, rightfully so. That's how it goes, especially on this show. And that's just how I'm wired. They're good. But the way they're good is still so bizarre to me, based on what I expected. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it.
Like, what do you mean?
With Vrabel as the head coach, what he did with the Tennessee Titans, I expected defense first, grind them into dust, rock fight games. The quarterback doing just enough and winning games 20-13, 17-10. Instead, it's week after week of slow starts defensively. It's now 5 out of 7 games where they've given up points on the first drive, blown plays, making stiffs like Cam Ward look like Steve McNair resurrected. Like the beginning of that game yesterday, I'm like, come on with this team. And then here comes Drake Maye to save the day again. Like, it's working. It's fun. It's just
why is there a yeah, but?
No, it's not a yeah, but it's weird for me to wrap my head around how they're winning these games. It's the quarterback, period. That's it.
Well, you've never seen that before.
Well, I mean, I didn't expect this turnaround this quick with him. I obviously had my doubts. The jury now back. Like, it's happened so fast. And it's not last year to this year. It's the first 2 out of the 3 games of this season when I was like, oh, Jesus, this kid might stink. He was not good in that Raiders game. And I'm not going to memory hold the turnovers in the loss to Pittsburgh. Well, they kept going up and down the field. He still had 3 turnovers in the game, and it felt like, oh, this still? In this last month, he's like a freak. He's legitimately in the MVP conversation. He's now up to like 4th in odds. It's because of him that we've had this turnaround. Not really anything else to me.
Okay, the coach has something to do with it, though. I mean, this is 75% Drake Maye, 25% Mike Vrabel. But it's the coach and the quarterback, and that's what you need in the NFL. And that's my takeaway from yesterday, Jim. Yes, of course, over the last month, it has been the dramatic step forward that Drake Maye has taken, which undeniably is the story here. But the coach is building a culture, too, all right? What I take away from yesterday is the Patriots in comparison to the Tennessee Titans, the team that obviously Mike Vrabel coached just a few years ago got fired. Can you imagine being in Tennessee today? And I know I can imagine being in Tennessee today because that's what we were for the last 3 years. A team with no coach, no quarterback, because let's be honest, Bill was on his last legs, and that thing was not going great. The Patriots have the coach and the quarterback, and that is what matters in the NFL. I don't know how you can't be ecstatic as a Patriots fan about the way this thing is now trending, the direction that this thing is now headed in. Most importantly, because of the quarterback, because it's a quarterback league, and that's what it comes down to. And Maye is proving, and listen, Jim, you and I had probably more doubts about Drake Maye than most people. I can't feel that way anymore. I mean, the way he's played over the last month, it's obvious the leap he has taken. But what they're putting together around him, opening up the offense a little bit more with Maye pushing the ball down the field, now playing to his strengths, this is the way it's supposed to be developing. And I think it's developing a little bit ahead of schedule.
A little bit. Way ahead of schedule.
A little bit.
Listen, I thought they were going to be good. I thought they were going to be, good. 8-9 wins max.
Yeah.
This team's more than that. They're better than that. Schedule has something to do with it. But how do you not feel really good about the way this? Trust me, I'm sure you guys will find a reason this week. Let the record state, I don't want any part of that. I feel great about this thing.
Well, you should. But you think it's really them or him? And not that it matters.
It's 75% the quarterback. It's 25% the coach and the culture.
It nets out to the same thing.
I think it's 90-10.
I mean, I think it's so clearly the Drake Maye show when you watch these games. It is so clearly him. And for all the things they did do well yesterday. They ran the ball to start the game, and the defense straightened out in the second half. Nothing really happened in the game until he started going downfield and making plays downfield. It all, so they ran the ball early until he started completing balls down the field on that, I guess, third drive, whatever, is when it all happened. So it's a quarterback league for sure, and they're the most important piece. But I just think it's been so over the top, the Drake Maye show, the last couple of weeks. It's not even funny. Is that a bad thing? I mean, that's the league.
No, in today's NFL, you can win that way. My expectations, again, the Vrabel and the defense. And I'm these slow starts are really bothersome. Again, that's a good win. You beat a bad team yesterday, whatever, and tough start, you bounce back. But the beginning of that game looked so much like so many of these other games. And I'm like, hey, guys, wake up. What are you doing? Why are you letting this dumb team hang around and, get up on you? It's bothersome to me based on my expectations. And I do think that they have real talent on the defensive side of the ball. Some guys are just not playing that well. Case in point, Carlton Davis, who looks like almost kind of like a bust in terms of a free agent signing for them. He stinks.
So I mean, it's really not the defense. It's not even the running game. All those things, I think the defense for sure fell into place after you get the lead. The running didn't really get you the lead, just kind of set a tone, which I think is important. I think what's important is with the running game, to me, I keep talking about this, is getting Drake Maye under center and playing a conventional NFL offense versus the shotgun RPO look kind of thing that tends to happen.
Well, if they're able to run the ball, it means he doesn't have to run the ball as much because some of these weeks, he's their leading rusher. And as you saw yesterday, you only want to do so much of that.
Well, I think him running the ball was a big story yesterday. And maybe not well, let me ask you, does all his running worry you guys?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it does. Because, again, he goes into the blue tent yesterday, and it's like, oh, Jesus, how many is this now for him potentially? And, thankfully he came back. But it's like, would that have been his third concussion since he's been in the league?
I don't know how it can't worry you. The way he runs, he still doesn't really know how to protect himself or get down. He's had a couple. The first time this year, he got whiplash. They didn't send him to the tent.
That's right.
He got away with it.
Then he threw that pick. He came back and threw that pick into the end zone.
Is that? But that was the sequence.
Yeah.
That was against Pittsburgh then, huh?
Yep.
And then I think he was probably dinged yesterday because when he came back, he threw the ball 2 yards behind DeMario Douglas, who bailed him out on a fourth down play. That's one of my few nitpicks from the game. I didn't like them going for it on that play, and I think they, obviously got lucky that Douglas bailed him out, but I think Maye wasn't probably right in that situation. But I don't know how it couldn't concern you. The amount of running that he does and how he runs. And
and given the history too, it means he'd be out. And I don't really love their backup situation. No, that was a gasp moment yesterday. It's like, oh no, not this. No.
Does the running worry you, McCarthy?
How could it not? Yes, I mean, that's the entire franchise. That's the future, that's the present, that's everything. Again, I think Vrabel's a big part of it, the culture that they're building. But you take Drake Maye out of that thing, your culture is going to go to hell if Josh Dobbs is playing for you for 2, 3, 4 weeks. Great third down conversion from him when they needed it. Don't expect anything more from Josh Dobbs after that. Yes, of course. That's the number one concern coming out of yesterday.
I bet you, one of the things I definitely have seen from Vrabel is something crop up. And frankly, there are all sorts of things that we can see that he then corrects or talks about the next week, and it happens. And I bet there's a for every obvious one that we see, there's a handful that we don't see that are little technical things that we wouldn't even mention. But, for example, this last week, I think he talked about how important ball security has been for the running backs and Ramondre Stevenson, obviously. But he talked, and I'll give you the exact way that he put it, but he talked about you can't be too conscious about putting the ball on the ground at the expense of gaining yards. And there you saw Ramondre Stevenson sort of revert to what he looks like on his good days, where he was really getting out tough yards and wasn't so tentative and wasn't so hyper-conscious holding onto the ball that it impacted his running style. I think they did that. What was the thing? Oh, the week before. The week before at Drake Maye. There was a thing about don't just tuck and run. Keep your eyes downfield and and don't just take off out of the pocket. Keep your eyes downfield and see if there's a play. There's a play. And then against New Orleans, there were several
where
he's behind the line of scrimmage, really with better pocket presence, looking downfield. making off-platform throws.
That one was clear. Again, it was pointed out by Chris Collinsworth first half of the Bills game. They said he feels the rush, his head drops. That changed the following week in New Orleans.
This is all a long way to say. Mark this down. I'm not big for predictions, but I'll make one for you here. Drake Maye's not going to be running much next week. Or if he does, every single run will end in a slide. Someone can back this up or just double-check on this for me. He had 8 runs. Is that right? Yeah, I think he had 8 scrambles. I counted only 2 slides. It may have been 3, but
right.
I only remember 2. When I was watching it again, I only sort of jotted down. Of the 8 times that he took off running, he only gave himself up twice. And that includes a third down pickup in the second half where he dove to the stakes on the sidelines. I'm sure you remember it.
Yep.
It was a good play. It wasn't like he was in harm's way there, but it wasn't a slide. I think there were only 2 times. They don't write it on the play sheet.
Okay.
They give someone credit for a tackle every time. But there are only 2 times, I think, where he truly, literally went into the slide, gave himself up, and protected himself. On 6 of the other 8 occasions, he went head first, allowed himself to get tackled. In a couple of cases, he got hit a couple times. He got hit in the knee once. He got hit in the head once. He got whiplashed on the ground. So here's I'm sorry, that was a long digression. It's a long way of saying next week, he's going to be running a lot less, and anytime he runs, he'll be going into a slide. That's just a prediction.
And that will be the Vrabel impact.
Yes. Yep, I've seen that, Matt. That's for sure. And again, those are just sort of the obvious things that we've seen. He's probably doing a lot of littler things behind the scenes, but that's a big one. And that's the most important one. The running stuff, to me, I keep shaking my head. It's like, so he's 21 of 23, Maye is, which is unconscious. 90%, whatever. He's got one of the highest completion percentages in the league, over a 6-game span in the history of the league, etc. Okay, it's partly because if it's not there, instead of throwing the ball away, he's taking off and running.
Right.
And he's making positive plays. No doubt. He's got it in his game. 100%. But it's at the expense because he doesn't quite know how to get down yet. He doesn't have that feel for when to get down or how to get down or how to live another day. He's young. I don't blame him for this. But he doesn't have that veteran savvy sort of thing of I'm going to go down or get out before I take the key. He just doesn't know yet. So instead of being 21 and 23 with 8 rushes, what if he were 21 of 27 with 4 rushes and 4 more incompletes, but he's not going to the 10? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd rather that.
I think we all would. And his completion percentage would go down. His raw numbers would go down. But he'd be protected and you'd live to see another day. With the way he throws, I can handle him in 3rd and 7. Versus, you know what I mean?
You should feel good about him in 3rd and 7.
And if you lose one possession with the way he's playing, I think you can handle that. If he gets hurt, you can't handle that. And I just have a feeling, given the number of hits he took in this game and the way he's running again, which is with abandon and not protecting himself, that they're going to course correct that this week. You watch. Next week, he's going to run less. And if he runs, he's going to get into that slide. Unlike this week. And I think that's just sort of a big sidebar from the game. But the headline is you keep winning. And if the playoffs began today, as you said, you're hosting Jacksonville. They'd probably throw you on the Monday night. Or maybe the Saturday night. Maybe you get the Saturday swag AFC South slot. That Saturday afternoon.
4:15.
Where it's usually Tennessee.
Right, yeah.
I'm not Tennessee. It's
Houston.
Houston.
That's the Houston slot.
It's the Houston slot.
Yeah, that might be because the Jags are involved. It might be the Jag slot. It's not so much about the Pats as it is the Jags.
It's the Saturday afternoon or they throw you on Monday night.
Yeah.
That's where you are against Jacksonville.